If you work with children and you've noticed that regulation and behaviour strategies sometimes make things worse rather than better, then this video is for you. My specialist background is in dyslexia and language-based neurodevelopmental differences. And what I want to talk about is why certain nervous systems are consistently misread. Many dyslexic children and children with similar language-based profiles are described as emotionally dysregulated, avoidant, oppositional, or anxious. You've probably come across that. But what I see again and again is not a lack of regulation. It's a nervous system operating under sustained cognitive and language load. Language load is nervous system load. When we respond to overload as if it's behaviour or emotion, we're applying the wrong support. So these calm exercises that we might give to little ones can actually be something that is very, very, very overloading for them, especially if you're asking them to self-correct or to calm down or any of these things. They are really stressful for a nervous system that's already at capacity. The resulting anxiety or shutdown isn't defiance. It's processing limits being reached. So imagine yourself in that situation. How would you behave? So if your capacity is 3 hours and you have a task to do that's 6 hours, you're going to be, after that, and you're being made to do more, you're going to really, really struggle with that. So behaviour is the end of the process, not the beginning. Okay, so by the time we see behaviour showing up, it's a nervous system that has already made a decision about safety and capacity. Most regulation and behaviour strategies assume that the nervous system has spare capacity, but dyslexic nervous systems often don't. So for example, if you have a child, which I do in my clinic all the time, most of them, when they come to me, have about 30 seconds of tracking capacity. So that's being able to move their eyes independently of their head. So if they're copying from the board, 30 seconds they've used up their daily quota. Okay, that's their lack of capacity from there on in, so they can't function. So if you're asking a dyslexic child who has limited capacity to follow a set of multiverbal instructions, so first, put your shoes on, then get your coat on, then get your school bag, remember your lunch. Each step requires decoding, holding it in the memory, and sequencing it. And by the third step, their nervous system is taxed. They're done. And they freeze and they fidget and they resist. But this isn't laziness, it's already overload. So applying the wrong strategy isn't going to work. And in the same way, a calm reading session will overload a system like that because they're already at capacity probably before they even begin. And it might seem low stress to us, that, you know, they're sitting under your arm and you're reading a book together, but it takes a lot of work. If you remember that it takes, to add 2 numbers together, that information has to change hemisphere 9 times. So say we're going to add this many things and that many things, that information changes hemisphere 9 times. So if you're already at capacity when you start, then you can't do it. That was my problem when I was young, because I had a dyscalculia going on. So I know exactly how it feels to just, for me, it felt like my brain was grinding to a rusty halt, and there was just like nothing else I could do after that. Dyslexia is still widely treated as a literacy issue, when it's actually a neurodevelopmental organisation issue. It's in the muscles and nerves, in the brainstem primarily. So what's missing isn't effort or compassion, it's a shared interpretive lens. So my work focuses on developing neurodevelopmental pattern recognition, particularly through a dyslexia-informed lens. The same principles apply across other neurodevelopmental profiles, as you can probably imagine. But dyslexia is often where most misreading can come in. And I was dyscalculate, and the same applies for that. Because if you're looking in the wrong place, you're going to come up with the wrong answers. When we ask a child to explain how they feel or why they did something, we assume language is effortless. For a dyslexic child, translating internal experiences into words is very high load. It's why they get frustrated or withdraw. And that's not resistance. It's cognitive and emotional capacity being exceeded already. When support doesn't land, it's not failure, it's information. Now, most practitioners I speak to are not undertrained. They're overloaded with fragmented models that don't integrate and don't understand this. When practitioners learn to read nervous system patterns more accurately, sessions change, and that's without even adding in more strategies. If this video has named something that you've been sensing but couldn't quite articulate, that's the work doing its job. And I do run a small practitioner training that goes deeper than this, but even if this video alone shifts how you see your work, that matters. When a child doesn't respond to support, it's not defiance, it's data.